Hi, and welcome back to Bourbon Blind, where the guys drink what you all pick. So please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section with a bottle you'd like to see, or email us at bourbonblindtasting@gmail.com. Tonight's bottle comes from Eric Alexandrian. I think I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for picking our bottle and letting us know what you want to see on the show. As always, the guys don't know what they're drinking, so they will give their honest ideas, thoughts, tastes on what the bottle they're drinking, and then they're going to tell you what they think the bottle should be worth on the shelf before they see what it actually is. This is tonight's bottle. Here's tonight's bottle. And as always, I can't really tell you what it is, so you're just going to have to read it. Or I could pour it all over the counter. It's a waste of good bourbon. Okay, we're not using the shot glass, no. So now that I made a mess all over the counter, I'm going to go get the guys and see what they think of this bottle.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bourbon Blind. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Jay.
We taste whiskey. We don't know what it is. So we let you know what we'd be willing to pay for it, to have that sitting on our shelf and not know what it is, but it kind of gives you a perspective on what you actually really like. I mean, we've been surprised multiple times. So, couple great comments from you guys I just want to go over real quick. The Kazursa Zone 13, I knew I screwed that up, so they say they pay $50 for Eagle Rare, Four Roses single barrel in Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah, but according to our review, we'd still be willing to pay that for it.
Sure.
So, E-Rock wants to see Crown Royal Texas Mesquite. Whiskey Scout, which if you guys haven't checked out his channel, go do that. He's got some awesome reviews, does some good stuff, and just all around fun guy. He says you guys are going to single-handedly raise the price of cheap bourbons. Great review. I'm slowly catching up on him.
Nice.
So, and my reply was, well, they shouldn't make it so good. And guys, there's a lot of bottles that are fairly cheap that are really undervalued. And we like to keep them that way.
Yes.
We're not saying you should raise the price. We're just saying you should buy them.
Well, that'll raise the price.
Whiskey also said 1986 he had his first Wild Turkey 101 in the barracks and never looked back. Good stuff. That's one of those undervalued bourbons that are underrated, I should say. It's definitely underrated. Many people, I got drunk in that, back in high school and all that kind of stuff, and it's really good. Slow down and actually take put it in a glass and sip it, and it's awesome stuff. Iron Horse wants to see Old Granddad 114. Mm-hmm. Jeremy Williams also wants to see Granddad 114 and Old George T. Stagg. So, thanks for that. I always love pouring those expensive bottles. Or not me, but, but stay tuned. We're going to be probably doing a flight that may just very well include that George T. Stagg. So, Pressman also says, great review on the Early Times Bottled and Bond. He wish he had it in his area. He'd like to try it. Let us know. We may be able to find someone in your area to get that to you. I only find the 80 proof version. Boo. Wild Turkey Rare Breed would be a great blind reveal. We put that on the list. Troy Duncan says Bird Dog 10 year. We could do that. Troy Duncan also says, I'd like to do a Bottled and Bond episode, which would be another probably flight, and put some Bottled and Bonds up against each other.
Nice.
Maybe some cheaper ones, maybe some more expensive ones, and see how those go head to head. All at the same proof, different ages.
My mind is swimming.
Chad Holly requested the Balcones Texas Single Malt. I've never heard of that, and I'd be interested to try it. If you're able to get a bottle, let us know. And send us an email, thebourbonblindtasting@gmail.com, and we may be able to work something out. Great work. Keep up the show. Love it. Chad Hawley. Brad Henderson said, I hear a lot of people saying they've gotten really bad bottles of McKenna. They're mostly good, but there does seem to be some bad bottles out there for sure. I would definitely second that. I've had, personally, a really not so great bottle, and then the next one barrel that I got was phenomenal. So I don't know what's going on over there, but if you've tried Henry McKenna and you weren't a huge fan, try it again from a different barrel. It's very likely that it just wasn't one of the great ones, and then again, you just may not like it. So
I think that could be said for every brand of bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
whatever you try, if you don't like it, give it another try at some point.
Give it a month or two.
Next batch, next store you go to, whatever. Just don't throw it away.
My Bourbon Journey, another awesome channel, was talking about the free whiskey giveaway that we did. Also, he's really trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. Go check out his channel, My Bourbon Journey. Another great guy, and try and help him hit that mark, guys. That being said, speaking of whiskey, we should get into this one.
Yeah.
Ooh. I always like to go in for a nose just to get that initial impression. I don't know. I just
not looking at it first, just going right in with the nose.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're supposed to see, smell, taste, but I don't know what it is. I always just find myself going for a quick nose right off the bat.
Sometimes there's something to be said for that, because if you look at something, you might develop an opinion. So,
right, that is true. Nice amber color on that. Nice thick viscosity. Legs are still forming on that. Not quite there yet. I like it. Well, but I don't know if I like it. I like the viscosity of it so far, though.
A lot of ethanol.
There is a lot of ethanol in that. A little bit of that caramel vanilla flavored, like your standard bourbon notes.
Very, very vanilla.
Maybe some nutty. A little bit of nuttiness in there on the back end.
I'm catching mint. I got a bit of mint.
Some
green mint.
Yep. Definitely see the mint. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on in there for me.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of ethanol.
Yeah, lots.
It's potent on the nose.
Let's see.
Ooh. Still there on the flavor. Woo! Woo! I feel like I want to be like a barking dog.
That is fire.
Woo!
I think I just
I'm tearing up a little bit over here.
Inhaled some dragon breath or something here.
Woo!
Oh, he's going straight for the water. Did you see that?
Just a little bit to cleanse the palate. Just got to cleanse the palate a little bit.
So I'm thinking taste here.
Fire.
Super citrus. It's like if you've ever tasted a very fresh lemon. Oh, super acid.
A little bit of orange in there.
Yes. Like it's exactly. I know. I got it. It's orange peel.
Yeah.
Orange peel.
Definitely some orange peel.
Exactly it.
Like the orange zest.
Yeah,
like
the oily part of an orange.
The peel of a lemon or orange.
Almost no wood.
Mm-mm.
Just not a lot going on there. But heat.
A little bit of that caramel on the taste. Some really light vanilla hiding way back there, but
on the second taste, you get more out of it.
You do.
Once you get past that initial burn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more to it. Maybe some maple syrup. It's breakfast. It's orange peel and maple syrup.
I mean, a little bit of maltiness in there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I will say I'm a little surprised with how oily it is, but yet it's very, I'd say, unrefined. I kind of want to say, like, it's not. You know what I mean?
Is it young? Is that what it is? Is it too? I'm trying to decide. Is it a high proof or is it just really young?
I don't think it's a high proof. I want to say it's just more young.
That's. I'm leaning that way.
With how much ethanol's on the nose and everything, I mean, even if you take like Booker's, and I really hope this isn't Booker's, but I mean, you take a Booker's, they're usually like 6 to 7 year bourbons at 125, 130 proof, and you don't get all that ethanol in there. You know what I mean? So, I could be completely wrong. It would not be the first time.
Right.
Probably wouldn't be the last.
Let's tone this down a bit. I hit it with 3. Now let's shake that up. Gotta be honest, I probably wouldn't drink this.
Yeah, like I really hope it's not something that I think I enjoy, because
so that definitely opens it up. Florals, more florals, a lot more flowers.
Starting to get there.
Herby. So that definitely, some water helped it for sure.
I almost want to say it made it more creamy on the mouthfeel with the water.
I agree. It definitely opened it up, and it toned down some of the burn, so you get a lot more. Still citrus.
I'm still not getting a whole lot on the nose. It definitely toned down the ethanol portion of it.
That opened up the vanilla, so there's the vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
If you put a little water in it, this would be one I would stick an ice cube in for sure.
I would not be opposed to that. Getting a little bit more of the wood with the water in there.
Yes.
A little bit more of that caramel. I'm tasting like a little bit of a chocolate on the back end. Are you getting any of that? There's some chocolate, like, in the very back of the mouth on the finish.
Sure. It lingers pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like at the very, very, very end, you get a little chocolate. I don't know.
Jay's not finishing his glass.
This is a rough one. I'm sorry. I'm very curious on this. So you don't think this is a higher proof?
I'm at a loss on it. Ugh.
Back to the straight, no?
Yeah, I think the water helped it.
Yeah.
I think the water helped this one.
So whatever this is, ice cubes all day.
I just want to make funny faces, like.
Now, I actually had a reaction. I don't know if you saw it, but I had a reaction.
I definitely did on the first sip.
That's fiery.
Woo!
It's you made barking noises.
Oh man. I mean, I almost want to say, if it's a higher proof, even if it was a barrel proof, $30 to $40. If it's lower proof, $20 to $30. I mean, I just can't see paying more than that for this.
$30. That's square $30.
Like I want to finish it, but I don't.
No, I'm not.
I'm not a fan of leaving whiskey in the glass, but I'm hesitant to even go back to it.
This is going to be excellent. The reveal on this will be phenomenal. I can't wait. What is this?
I better be cheap.
Oh,
Makers Mark Cask Strength.
that's Makers? That is not what I normally... I like Makers Mark. I'm a big fan of Makers Mark.
It is cask proof.
So that's the difference?
Yeah.
The fact that it's cask proof?
It's 110.9 proof.
See, it's pretty high.
55.5%.
Pretty high proof. Boy, that is fiery.
For all of you geeks out there, whiskey geeks, batch 17-01. Whew.
So the characteristics of Makers that I enjoy are generally the caramel right off the bat. It's got kind of a candy, fruity, like, finish to it. It's one of the things that actually drew me to bourbon in the first place was Maker's Mark. And if I'm not mistaken, Makers is one of them that actually prints the label as whiskey with just a Y. That's correct. Yeah,
They do.
For
They
whatever. What's the reason?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not a huge Makers fan, haven't.
There's a reason for that. I forget. Maybe somebody in the comments can actually, enlighten us, help us put us on the right track. But there's a reason why they put Y instead of EY for that. But anyway, off the shelf Makers is one that I consider a daily drinker. That's one I go to pretty regularly.
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the Makers. I usually find it overly sweet. So, which Jay is a fan of. I am not.
Hello.
So, take that for what it's worth. Not everyone's palates are the same.
Right.
And that's okay. That's part of the game. I don't like tomatoes. So, I mean, Jay loves tomatoes.
Well, you live in the South and you don't like tomatoes?
I do live in the South and I do not like tomatoes. I did find out I like the fried green tomatoes.
Oh, okay. So
Because it almost tastes like a squash.
So yeah.
It doesn't have that tomato-y feel to it. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, it's
Wow.
Makers, which I recently found out Jim Beam owns Makers Mark.
Really?
Yeah, I did not know that.
So they own it?
They own it. It's still distilled at the Makers Mark distillery.
Okay.
And aged there and all that kind of stuff. But apparently Jim Beam bought the brand. So
It's a great bourbon. So don't let this review turn you off. This particular batch and this particular strength is a little, to me, overpowering. But I like Makers overall. It's one of my favorites.
I do find it a little interesting that it's only 110 proof at batch proof. You know what I mean? Like, it's not higher than that. Like, I have Four Roses that are like in the low 100s proof.
Yeah.
Bellmead and those guys and a bunch of the MGP stuff is usually like 110 to 115 proof at cask strength. So I mean, it's not super unusual. I just figured Maker's Mark would be higher than that.
Well, interestingly, we both agreed that hitting it with some water,
It did help.
turned it into something a little better. So the off-the-shelf, the regular stuff, not cask strength, that may be why I like it better. So, I like it with some...
It was closer
a
to
little,
that.
a little diluted. So,
But I mean, you can get something like, Four Roses store pick, or like the Russell's Reserve, or the Elijah Craig barrel proof is up near that 130 mark, and I don't have near the reaction that
yes.
fire reaction that you have to this.
So I'm a huge fan of the George T. or Stag Jr. The Stag Jr.
The George C. for that matter.
Oh, I love the George.
But even the Stag Jr.
But the Stag Jr. at the 130 is to me delicious. So it's not a proof thing, I don't think. I just think this particular kind of bourbon does better with a little more diluted with some water.
Yeah. So
wow.
With that being said, guys, I mean that's
what is the retail?
I want to say
the
it's
cask
around
strength.
55-ish. Don't quote me on that. 60, 55, 60.
So there's a little to be said there for naming. It's like Nikes or whatever.
Right.
You're paying a little bit for the name.
Well, and that too, but I mean, it is more expensive to bottle it at barrel proof, or batch proof in this case. So, I mean, obviously it's going to be more expensive to a degree. But I mean, this for $60, or the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, or the Stag Junior Barrel Proof for another $10. I mean, I'd go with either one of those options personally.
Yeah, me too.
But some people love the Maker's Mark, and that's cool. That's just not my thing. Like I said, everyone has different taste. So, anyway, Jay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Until next week, guys. Drink blind.
Drink often. That's how you want me to do it, right?
Bueno.
Bueno.
Yeah, I had some crazy reaction to that on the first sip.
Wow. So, that is...
Yeah, you get that minty... It does not taste like a weeded bourbon. After you add the water.
With the water it did.
It kind of gets that weedy, malty kind of flavor.
Yeah, that's just... If you had said that was Maker's Mark before we showed the bottle, I would have said no.
You said there's no way.
Not happening. That's not Maker's.
I know Maker, and that's not him.
So this actually is oddly enough, this seems to taste more like some of the other bourbons. See, I've always put Makers in a different category than regular bourbons, right? Because it has such a distinct flavor. It has an interesting taste to it that other bourbons just don't have. I don't know. This one seems more like everybody else.
Right.
But fiery. Whew.
Especially for 110 proof.
Yeah.
That is a lot of burn and